Principle 38 is melodic hooks and motifs. Now, what I mean by that is we're creating simple melodic phrases that are very memorable to the ear. All right. Now, in pop music or rock or whatever, we all know what those great hooks are. You know, it's Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, stuff like that. Things that are melodically memorable that we end up singing, you know, after the concert or whatever it is, or after we hear the track. Now, we can create those things from any place on the guitar and any scale pretty much, all right? And what I look for is really nice kind of pedal tone ideas, simple melodies that maybe repeat and work nicely over all of the chords, all right? Now, I'm going to pull up the track, play a couple of ideas over that and break down my thought process of how I came about finding those ideas, all right? Because they're everywhere on the instrument. And it's going to be a very personal thing as well. We want to put our personality in why we create these lines as much as copying or learning from someone else first, all right? So once you get the concept and the idea, go about learning and finding some things that you think sound really memorable and melodic and work as great hooks as a guitar player. All right, let's pull up that track. I'll give you a few ideas here, and then we'll break it down. Okay, so let's break down some of these ideas. Now, what I'm basically playing over is an F, a G, and an A minor. Now, the tonal center of that is to the F, all right? Now, let's look at a couple of the ideas and how we create these melodic hooks and motifs. Now, a motif to me is something that you repeat, and a hook is something you repeat as well. So that's what I was doing, a couple of the ideas I repeat. So I'm starting. My first place to start is obviously with a chord tone. I always think it should lead with a chord tone. So my first note here is a pedal tone idea pivoting off the A note, which is going to work over, you know, basically two of those chords and the resolution. So that's my first opening line. Okay, now let's give you the background behind that. This is basically an A minor scale or a C major scale, however way you want to look at it. And I'm obviously playing these pivot notes. You can see the scale within the framework of it. Okay, so there's the scale, if you like. Now this boils back to phrasing a little bit too here. If you consider the first idea is my first thing, my answer is the second idea moving up on the strings, I repeat the first idea and then I respond to that with an ending phrase that resolves, right? And it resolves melodically as well as rhythmically. So I want you to think about those terms as well. So that's where I created that first idea from, all right? C major scale, A minor scale, but thinking about repetitive lines. Now I moved further up the fretboard and used basically a C major but suspended idea over these chords. Okay. Okay. And again, it's one of those things where I'm repeating these motifs on top of the strings and then ending the phrase somewhere where it resolves, all right? So here we are, the C sus. All right, so again, I repeated that idea to solidify it, all right, make it hooky, make it memorable. Now, again, my whole thing about playing lead guitar is you start lower, work your way up the fretboard. So to me, a solo could compose of something that worked out lower, kept moving up the fretboard to increase the intensity of it. Now, the next idea that I was playing, to give you the background on that, was basically an F major triad. All right. Now, what I did was enhance that with a bit more melody. So let's go back to the fretboard. Let me break that down a bit for you. We're now at the 15th fret. Here's my F note. And what I'm doing is I'm playing through the arpeggio. Okay, and then resolving to the B here. All right, which is a really nice tonality against the chords. And then I end that phrase with, okay. Repeat the idea again. And again, the motif thing here is this B tone. I keep going back there because I felt it sounded really good against the track. Then the idea repeats. And then I go back to my original idea. Now, like I said, any of these melodic phrases and hooks can come from any of the scales that work over that chord progression. So what I would say do is start with one of your favorite patterns and think about how you create a very simple line. And it could just be a triad line, like something like this. Okay guys, so your assignment is choose your favorite scales and patterns, all right? Find some simple ideas within those and create some melodic hooks. What I'd like you to do then is string them together for a stream of consciousness, almost like you're creating a solo, all right? Now, if you can sing those lines, typically your audience is going to love them and sing them too. And you really want these to be memorable and you want people to love what you do. So don't think about just licks. Don't think about just playing and blowing lines. Think about melodies that you'd like to hear repeated yourself, and you know that your audience is going to like and love too. So your assignment, go and do that, create over this track, and of course, any of the tracks I've given you, you can do the same thing too as well. So don't be stuck in this track. Go and wander about the other tracks I've given you in the course and create the same ideas with every concept that I give you. There's a lot of power here for you. I'll see you in the next section.